All right, the Quinn Ewers project begins in 3, 2, 1. What is going on, Fins fans, and welcome to Fins Temporal Focus. This is the preview of the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals. I want to start first with a comment that was made on my last video. Jeff, who had commented about giving Quinn Ewers a chance, which I agree with, and I hope that my comments back made sense. Let me just put it that way. But we're talking about, just because he made the comment about Dan Marino getting the chance, and I know you wasn't comparing Dan Marino to Quinn Ewers, but we're talking about two totally different type of draft picks. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood what I was saying in the answer to your comments. I hope it came out clear. I do agree with you, though, that Quinn Ewers has to be given a shot. All I was saying was we have to find out, is he a diamond in the rough? The better comparison would have been Tom Brady. Yes, Tom Brady is the GOAT. I'm not comparing him to Tom Brady, but I am comparing the situation to Tom Brady. He's a 7th round pick. Tom Brady was a 6th round pick. That would have been a closer comparison, is all I'm saying. Because Dan Marino came out a polished quarterback. You knew what you had with him. But I do get your point, Jeff. So please don't come at me next time you see me and say, hey, this is what I meant. I know what you meant. I really did. But I'm just saying the comparison would have been better. Tom Brady to Quinn Ewers, just because of the draft pick, of where they were picked in the draft. Because Dan was the second best quarterback coming out of that draft. He was rated on everybody's draft board. He just fell because of the whole party rumors and stuff of that nature. And we got lucky. We got lucky and got him 27th overall in that draft. And so, but Quinn Ewers does deserve to have a chance. It's just we need to figure out, is he that diamond in the rough like a Tom Brady? No, he will not be Tom Brady. Before people come at me, that's not what I'm saying. But in the comparison pool, will he be that diamond in the rough where he can be a starter in this league? Or is he going to be a solid backup in this league? Or is he going to be kind of a drifter? But his journey starts on Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals, and I will be rooting for him, the same as I would root for any quarterback that's playing for my team. So I am excited about Quinn Ewers getting this shot. I want to see what he can do, and I'm glad it's not preseason. I'm glad we're going to be seeing it against a starting NFL team, not preseason where we're playing backups, which once I get to the injury report, this may be a great starting game for Quinn Ewers, because it may be like a preseason game. We're going to get into it. But I just wanted to make that comment, and I hope that you understood what I was trying to say in my comments back to you. But yes, he absolutely deserves a shot. I definitely am not shooting him down in any way. I'm excited to see what the kid can do. I know he has a strong arm, like I said in my last video, and obviously, as far as his scrambling ability, much better than what Tua can do. But we have to see his accuracy. We have to see the way he reads defenses. And we'll get a chance to see that in 3 straight games before next season. Now, I don't know if this is a dress rehearsal for next season or not. That's up to the Dolphins front office. And we'll see how it goes. Now, if he comes out and completely lights it up, then at least he's making his case for next year. And that's the only thing this kid can do, is make his case for next year and where he's going to fit on the totem pole of quarterbacks. And that's all he can do. But that being said, and I'm sorry, went off on a rant, and I hope, Jeff, you know I wasn't ranting at you. I was just trying to explain what I was trying to say in my comments, and I felt like it didn't come off exactly right. So hopefully now you understand what I'm trying to say. And I knew exactly what you were trying to say. It was just the comparison for Dan and him is a little bit stretched. I knew you wasn't saying he was Dan Marino. And but that being said, we're going to get into this, and I always try to start with the injury report, and have mercy. As I said, this may be like Quinn Ewers in a preseason game, because Miami and Cincinnati are beat to crap, and they're both out of the playoffs, so nobody's really going to suit up, you know, if they have a paper cut at this point. But we will start with Miami. Mika Fitzpatrick is out with a calf injury. No surprise there. Jordan Brooks is questionable with a foot and a knee, so he may not go. I think guys like that, like Jordan Brooks, just because he is leading the league in tackles, may give him an incentive to keep playing even with an injury, just because how often do you get to lead the league in tackles? And at this point in the season, he still leads the league in tackles. Elijah Campbell, defensive back, he is going to be questionable with the ankle and a knee. Elijah Campbell, I just said Elijah Campbell, let me move on. Isaiah Johnson, the cornerback, he's going to be questionable with a knee injury. Jason Sanders has started practicing. Now, he's been limited all week, but he is questionable for this game with the hip, which I think is kind of interesting, because don't get me wrong, I love Jason Sanders, but Riley Patterson has played very well. So to risk that hip at this point in the season doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, he's questionable for this game, but I say you finish the season out with Patterson, and then figure everything out in the off season. I'm assuming that Jason Sanders will be with this team next year. As well as Riley Patterson has done, I cannot say enough about what he's done with this team this year. He has been amazing. But I do not think you trot Sanders back out there and take the chance of re-injuring that hip. Let him go ahead and take the off season and rest up for next year. Just my opinion on that one. Now, Devon Achane, I will go over a couple of the people. You're going to like this. This is a mile long over here, but you also have Achane still has the ribs, but he was a full. All of the rest of the ones I'm talking about were full participants. Rajul Douglas has got the foot. Ollie Gordon has an ankle. Kenneth Grant has a shoulder. Melifanu has the thumb and a groin. Now, the groin I would worry about, so he may suit up, but I'd say if that thing tightens up, he's going to come out And then you have Darren Waller, who was basically rest, but he does have the knee injury, but he was a full participant, which Darren Waller should be big in this game because Cincinnati is actually worse than the Dolphins covering tight ends. They've given up like 99 receptions to tight ends this year or something like that. It's like 100, something like right at 100. So the Dolphins can't cover a tight end if our lives depended on it, and Cincinnati is worse. So Quinn Ewers, pay attention. Throw the ball to Darren Waller. He should be open. Anyway, just saying that they have not done well covering the tight ends. And now we will move over to Cincinnati. That it's just as long as the Dolphins. I'm just going to go over a few that are either questionable or out. Which Joe Burrow is even questionable with a knee injury. Dylan Fairchild, the guard, he is questionable with a hamstring. Tight end Noah Fant is out with an ankle injury. T. Higgins is questionable with a concussion. B.J. Hill, the defensive end, is questionable with an ankle. And ironically, we've got ankle. Apparently, everybody's ankles are rolling up in Cincinnati. But B.J. Hill is questionable with an ankle. Crush Jenkins, the defensive tackle, questionable with an ankle. Charles Jones, questionable with an ankle. And Joseph Asai, the defensive end, is out with an ankle. And Charlie Jones is actually out with the ankle, the wide receiver for Cincinnati. So that is what your injury report looks like. And both of these teams are just beat up. Absolutely beat up. But the big thing is going to be Quinn Ewers. That is going to be the talk of the town in Miami. And when you look at Cincinnati's defense, they have been horrible this year. I'm going to go over, I haven't been really matching up the teams in that sense with yardage and stuff, but man, Cincinnati, they are 32nd in total yards, 28th in passing yards, 32nd in rushing yards, 32nd in points given up. They're 27th in sacks. Man, third down, they give up third down 50% of the time, which we know the Dolphins are no better. Really on third, well, actually they are better than that, but they have given up a lot of third downs. 38%, as a matter of fact, 38.2, actually 14th. They've actually come up very well. Maybe I just can't read because, yeah, they're 14th. So Cincinnati a lot worse on third downs. On fourth downs, they give up 65%, 13 of 20, 65%, and then turnovers, the only thing, they are 11th in turnovers. That's the only thing. So Tua's not out there, so Quinn, don't throw an interception. But when I was looking at this, I thought, man, Miami really has an opportunity. Now, I thought Aaron Brewer should sit because of the injuries he's had, but he didn't really show up on the injury list in general like he usually does. So apparently he is going to be a go. So that's interesting to me. And Jackson didn't show up really on the list. So the offensive line seems like it's going to be intact for this game for Quinn Ewers. So it surprises me a little bit. I thought Brewer and Jackson would probably not play. Apparently I was wrong. Apparently they are going to go for this game. And then you look at Cincinnati's offense, which their rushing offense is not good. But of course, their pass offense is. They're 10th overall in the league in pass offense, 20th in scoring, and 10th in third down conversions. So they're pretty good in that territory. Now the Dolphins defense has come up actually quite a bit. They are out of the 20s except in rushing. In rushing, they're 27th. But in total offense, they're 19th. In pass offense, they're 13th. And they're 13th in sacks with 34. So the defense has gotten better. And like I said, the third down defense is 14th with 38.2. So they're doing better that way. Now the one spot they're not doing well is fourth down. They're giving it up 70.8% of fourth downs. They're giving up 17 of 24 on the season. This could be an interesting game. Again, I don't think this could have set up better for Quinn Ewers to go out and ball out. This defense is not good. This team is really banged up. So everything I've been saying about, well, you know, we don't have to see Quinn Ewers in preseason where he's just playing backups and he's just playing college kids. Well, guess what? He's going to be playing some backups because this defense is horrible in Cincinnati. Really makes us look good. But they do have a good offense. I am expecting some points in this game because we are still running the ball very well. We are 14th. We dropped out of the top 10. So we're 14th in rushing, and they are dead last in stopping the run. So, that being said, run the ball. I know everybody's going to want passes in this game because everybody wants to see Quinn Ewers throw the ball. I want to see how he runs the offense. I don't need him to throw the ball 40 times in this game. As a matter of fact, I would be happy with 25 to 30 throws in this game. And that would be perfect. Actually, 25 I think would be better. I'd like to see us run the ball 30 times and maybe pass it 25 times. Just my opinion. That's what I would like to see. But my big thing is to see how he responds. I don't think he's going to be quick with the delivery the way Tua was. So I think it's going to be a matter of reading where people are supposed to be. I do worry a little bit because, as everybody knows, McDaniel's offense is based on throwing the ball where the receiver is supposed to be. That scares me. So we'll see how this kid does. And I hope to see a little less of that. I would like to see his arm strength on display. I think that is his strength, is his arm. And I really don't know much about his accuracy. Now, on my video that I done about the benching, like I said, 69%, pretty good in 2023, 65.8 in 24, that's pretty good. The one game he did play in this season against the Cleveland Browns, he was 5 of 8, so 62.5%, and 53 yards. Nothing to brag about. I understand that. He threw the ball 8 times. You're not going to get anything off of that. But I would like to see him throw the ball aggressively. We'll just put it that way. It would be nice to see. It's still going to come down. I would love to see Achane get about 15 carries. I would like to see Gordon get about 5 to 10 carries, and then Jalen Wright 5 to 10 carries. That would be nice. And then if we have to round it up to get to that 30 rushes, you know, you can say Devon Achane 15 to 20 carries. Of course, he does have the ribs. You don't want him getting banged up too much. So maybe run Wright a little bit. He had the 100 yards 2 weeks ago. We know that he is capable as well. And Ollie Gordon is just, he's that power back. Maybe see him a little more. Maybe see him a little more in this game because, again, this is like the dress rehearsal for next year. This is your opportunity. You got to take advantage of it. Ollie Gordon is one of them as well. Maybe give him a few more carries in this game just because you got to see what he can do over a stretch and not just a run here on third down, a run here on third down, maybe bring him in for a couple of plays. Let him actually maybe have a series, maybe 2 series for Ollie Gordon. Looks like the offensive line is going to be completely intact for this game. So I'm going to be honest. Now, Joe Burrow is questionable for this game. I don't really know on that one. Will he go? Will he not go? I will say this. If Joe Burrow doesn't play in this game, I think Miami wins this thing. I really do. But if Joe Burrow plays, Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback. He's also a very unhappy quarterback right now. So we'll kind of have to see how that plays out. Now, the defense overall looks pretty solid for the Dolphins. Fitzpatrick is out, but everybody else seems like they're going to play in this game. So our defense is pretty much going to be intact. The big question, like I said, Fitzpatrick is out. Jordan Brooks is questionable. I think he'll probably play just because I'm sure he would like to lead the league in tackles. And then Elijah Campbell, questionable. Isaiah Johnson, questionable. And really, that's it. So defensively, there shouldn't be a lot of changes defensively for Miami. And the Dolphin defense has still played well. They did not play well in the second half against Pittsburgh, but I think that was a give-up moment for the defense. It just gets to a point where it's like, look, we're stopping them, and you're doing nothing the whole first half. And then we start the third quarter, they go down and score, and then we can't do nothing offensively. I think the defense just gave up on this game. The defense is still a solid defense. Not a great defense, but it is a solid defense, and they have played better over the last little bit. And maybe Quinn Ewers does excite this team a little bit. You know, there is no playoffs to play for. The only thing you're doing now is playing for yourself. And when I say playing for yourself, I mean you're playing for your future. Now the rest of these guys, a lot of these guys, obviously their future's already set in stone. They just want to play. There's no reason for Aaron Brewer to play, but apparently he's going to. And he's top 5 center, top 3 center in the league this year. He's played outstanding for this football team. It's going to be interesting. As far as the matchups, I think it is pretty simple. Miami has to run the ball, and then you have to be patient with Joe Burrow because he can dice you up. You've got, and when I say patient, I mean you're going to get beat on some plays. And you have to just go, okay, that happened. Let's move on. And they've got to pressure him without blitzes. Because I think if you blitz him, he's going to carve you up. Just my opinion. So I think it comes down to the running game for the Dolphins, the passing game for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think it also comes down to the Cincinnati put up points quickly the way they did against the Bills. Miami is not a come from behind built team. We tend to get in trouble once we get behind the 8 ball. So we have to maintain the score just so Mike McDaniel don't go, oh, well, running game's out of the, throw that running game out. We're throwing the ball the rest of the game. And I don't want to see Quinn Ewers doing that. I want to see Quinn Ewers managing the football game. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see it of him just having to wing it. I want it to be controlled. Now, if if they're ahead and we're late in the second quarter or late in the fourth quarter, yes, I want to see him throw. I want to see what he can do. But I'm just saying, overall, you don't want Cincinnati to jump out on top the way they did against the Bills, because we're not built for anything like what the Bills done to the Bengals. We definitely do not have Josh Allen. So, got to keep it close. You got to run the ball. You got to have a short memory on defense, and you have to put some pressure on Joe Boudreaux with your front four. I don't think you can blitz Joe Burrow and win this game. Just my opinion. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they blitz him all day, and maybe he gets erratic, and everything falls apart for Cincinnati, and our defense just walks this thing off. But Joe Burrow has done well against blitzes, and I think it would also help the Dolphins if Sealer and Chubb and Robinson, these guys can get some pressure up front. They're doing a better job of it. Kenneth Grant is playing a little better. Biggers is playing really well coming off the bench. So, keep that rotation going. Of course, now the Dolphins did let Judon go. So, good luck to him. He didn't really do much in Miami anyway. So, good luck to him. Hopefully, he can catch on to a winner and maybe get some playoffs. Get in the playoffs with somebody, and who knows, win a championship maybe. So, but Judon is gone. But obviously the big one is Quinn Ewers. But I just don't think you put it on him. Don't put everything on him, especially in his first game. Now, maybe when we get to New England, if he's playing well enough, then you start maybe putting something on him a little more as far as the play calling. But you've got to keep this simple. Mike McDaniel is not a simple-minded person when it comes to his play calling and the way his plays are designed. And they've even said this is a hard offense to learn. Now, Quinn Ewers has been in the film room all year with the quarterback's coach and Coach McDaniel and Tua and all these people. Hopefully he is taking notes, and hopefully he has a decent grasp on this offense, because we know even Tua had trouble with this offense when Mike McDaniel first brought it in. You can't expect Quinn Ewers just to go in this game and have everything down. So you've got to break the playbook down for him, know what he is good at, and run those plays. I don't care if you're running 15 plays and that's all you run the whole game. But you have to keep it in his level of what he knows and what he is comfortable with. But overall, this is a very winnable game for the Miami Dolphins. Now, I know a lot of people's not going to like that wants a higher draft pick. But this is a very winnable game. I think this could very well be a high-scoring game. So we'll see how it goes. And I will see you guys tomorrow night after the ball game. Hopefully we'll be celebrating Quinn Ewers, and I can come on that one and say, hey, Jeff, you were right. This kid is amazing. I hope I can say that. But for me, I just want to see him run the offense. I just want to see him throw a few passes and see what this kid has. Because you can do all the stats, but I've preached it on here and I've preached it on here. You cannot fake the eye exam and what you see on the football field. Because stats can be, if you look at the stats in that Pittsburgh game, Tua had an amazing game. But anybody that watched that game knows he did not have a good game whatsoever. So, Quinn Ewers, your first eye test starts tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And I will be watching you. Yeah, I know you don't care, and I don't blame you. I wouldn't care either. But still, get to see what you can do, young man, and go out there and have some fun. Again, this is a defense that you can have a good game again. You can have a very good first start against this defense. So, guys, and including Quinn Ewers, make good decisions. And Fins fans, fins up.